Started playing pickleball, one of the first pieces of advice someone gave me is that I should never miss my return of serve. And the rationale went something like this. Look, Mark, your opponents are serving from really far away. They're more than 45 feet away from you. And when you hit that return of serve, they can't even be up at the net to pounce on it. That ball's got to travel all the way to the other side of the court, somewhere around the baseline. They're going to have lots and lots of time to get ready for it. So don't even bother doing anything fancy. You should never miss your return of serve. The real game starts after the third shot or something like that. Maybe you've heard some version of this advice yourself, I don't know. But I think this is really bad advice. First of all, we need to think about what the serving team is doing. And yes, they're serving, they're starting the point, they're starting the rally. But what they're also likely going to do, assuming you get a return in play, is they are going to hit some sort of third shot. And remember, when they hit this third shot, you and your partner will likely be up at the non-volley line, right? You've returned serve and you've come forward. Now, this is a critical moment, this third shot. And what goes on during the third shot is often an indicator of how the rest of the point is going to unfold. If the serving team hits a poor third shot, meaning the ball sits up a little bit too high, they can then be attacked, or maybe goes out or goes in the net, or whatever the case might be. If they hit a poor third shot, trouble is coming to them. On the other hand, if they hit an effective third shot, maybe they're causing some trouble themselves, or at a minimum, they're playing a good drop or a good drive that makes it so the net team can't really attack. So how a team's fortunes will go throughout the rest of the point are often not determined by the third shot, but heavily influenced by it. Okay, so now we understand how important the third shot is. Now we can start to think about the shot before the third shot. So if I'm returning serve and you're the serving team, if I hit a return of serve that's kind of a nothing ball, I just put it in play because someone told me the returns don't really matter, you should never miss your return, just get it in. Well, isn't that going to make you, as the server, pretty happy? Because if I'm hitting a thoughtless, sort of meaningless return of serve, then there's a very good chance that I'm not doing much to cause trouble for you. I'm not doing much to make your life difficult. And that probably makes you really happy because now you probably have a better chance to get the ball on the side you like. Maybe you really love a forehand, and if I just put the ball in play, there's a good chance you can use your forehand. Maybe I sit that ball up nice and high so it's easier for you to drive straight ahead with speed and cause trouble for me. Maybe I hit a fairly flat ball without much spin at all, so it's very easy for you to handle because the balance is going to be very predictable. So you as the server really benefit when I hit a meaningless return, when I just get the ball back in play because all I'm thinking about is getting up to the net. And that makes you as the server really happy, doesn't it? But I don't want you to be happy. Well, I mean, I want you to be happy, but you know what I mean. I don't want my opponents to be happy when they're serving, and so therefore I'm not going to give them a meaningless return. Now, this doesn't mean that I need to try to hit winners off the return of serve or some silliness like that. It's not like it's go for a winner or do nothing at all. But there's an in-between here. So what does that in-between look like? Well, I could think about what it is that you want or what it is you're hoping for, and I could just make sure I avoid that. So for example, if you'd really love to hit your forehand third shot because you've got a great forehand drive, well, maybe I can try to aim my return a little bit so it goes toward your backhand, or at a minimum, makes you move a little bit more to get the forehand that you want. Maybe I can hit my return nice and low so that you've got to hit up on the ball. Because if you've got to hit up on the ball, you can't really hit that fast and still keep the ball in play. Maybe you want my return to be short, and that way you can be moving forward. Because if you're moving forward inside the baseline, you're now closer to me at the net. So when you hit that ball fast, I'm going to have less time to react. So what I might try to do instead is try to hit that return deep so that you're on, or better yet, behind the baseline. Because now when you hit your third shot, even if you smack it at me, it's got a pretty long way it's got to travel. And if it's got further to travel, that means I'm going to have more time to get ready for it. And there's one more thing to think about. Let's imagine you are a really good pickleball player. I'm sure you are. And let's say that your partner is so-so. You know, they're not quite as good as you. Well, if I hit that return of serve thoughtlessly, if I just put it down the middle of the court, for example, then it's very likely that you, the better player, are going to have a really easy play on that ball. I don't want you to get the ball. If you're the stronger player, I want your partner to have to hit that third shot. So wouldn't it be smarter for me, instead of just returning serve wherever, returning serve meaninglessly, just thoughtlessly putting it in play, wouldn't it be better if I aimed it toward your partner, toward the weaker player? Or maybe you're the taller player and you know what? You're so tall and you're scary up at the net. I'm instead going to hit that return of serve to you. Why? Well, that's going to force you to hit the third shot from back near the baseline. You won't be able to get to the net, at least not right away. My point is here, the third shot matters so much in pickleball that we should start to think more about the second shot, the shot that leads up to the third shot. If we can be more deliberate when we hit our returns of serve, we don't necessarily win the point outright. Again, it's not to hit a winning shot necessarily, but we can start to put more pressure on the serving team when they're hitting their third shot. Make it a little more difficult for them to do exactly what they want to do.